Well, hey, student leadership coaches, we've had a great start to our semester and we are seeing God do a transformative work in our students as they are embracing their training plans and the invitations we have for them in student leadership. And they are growing as disciples of Jesus and becoming who God has created them to be. And while all that is happening in the lives of our students, we are seeing God do a transformative work in your heart as you walk out your calling of being a coach in this season. And a coach is one who teaches and trains those that are entrusted to them, one who helps others reach their God-given potential and calling. In other words, a coach is a leader. And in this season, we have defined what a leader is. A leader is a disciple of Jesus who takes responsibility to create kingdom culture and make disciples while accomplishing a specific task. And today we're going to talk about what it looks like to grow as a leader, to grow as a coach, and play lessons forward from our first month of student leadership. You see, I am so grateful that this year we kicked off month one of the experience as the month of grace, giving all of us a month to learn, to adjust, to pivot, and to grow was a gift from God, and our team learned a lot. You see, we learned that clearly laying out expectations raised the bar for the experience. We learned that doing practices together helped everyone be set up for success. We learned that we need to continue to connect the dots for our students and remind them consistently of what they said yes to. And we learned that the time when we come together is valuable for the overall development of our students. And what we always want to do as a team is evaluate what we're doing, take what's working and make it better, and take the areas that are not all the way there yet and make adjustments as we go to make them excellent. And that's not possible without your partnership and input. So as we keep moving forward, please connect with our student team when things are going great and share why, and when you feel like you've hit a roadblock or a wall and why that is, so that we can all learn and grow together. So then how are we going to lead differently? Well, since time is valuable when we come together, what we want to unpack today is how to leverage our time and our tools to help our students get the most out of the experience. You see, we all know the blocks of times that we come together with our students on Sunday mornings and at our monthly gatherings. But did you know that as a coach, you actually have more time with your students beyond when we're together in our spaces? Did you know that you can actually have an extra 25 minutes every Sunday morning with your students? Like, think about it. What would it look like if we start leveraging the time before and after Sunday morning gatherings? You see, each Sunday morning we open doors at 8:20 a.m. and we don't start our time together until 8:30. That is 10 minutes of uninterrupted time that you get to have with your students before we start each Sunday morning. And you as a coach are empowered to invite your students to show up at 8:20 to connect with you every single week. And in those 10 minutes, here are some things that you as a coach can cover with your pod. You can check in on how the on your own part of their training plans are going. You can invite them to recite their memory scripture. And if they haven't, they can actually check it off in their tracker. They don't have to wait to do that. You can ask them what they're learning about God through scripture. Ask them how their monthly mission practice is going and help them come up with ideas to complete it. Ask them the questions they'll answer for their monthly summary, the questions that you can find in your journal, like how are you growing as a disciple and leader? What are you learning through your training plan? You can also use this time to share what you're celebrating or coaching in them. And if you don't get a chance to get to cover all of that with your students in that 10 minutes, invite them to stay after we dismiss to keep the conversation going until 9:15. You see, this additional 25 minutes can become an accelerant to the development of your students if we leverage this time well together. And in a moment, you're going to get a chance to pair up with your co-lead to talk about how you can lead differently in this extra time. But now let's talk about our monthly gathering nights. One of my favorite things that we've implemented is our dinner time on Sunday nights. Those 20 to 25 minutes are a great opportunity to leverage celebration, accountability, and reflection, since we would have just talked about that earlier that morning. This is a great time to both close the loop on anyone that may have missed the accountability and reflection time that morning, and a great time to leverage your coach addendum in the back of your journal. You see, the coach addendum in your journals is there to help you capture all the things that you're praying for, celebrating, and coaching your students on. So as you're having conversations, make notes in this section to remind you of how your students are growing, where they need help, and areas that you are actively coaching them in. And we don't just want you to capture this for you, we want you to share it with your students because they need to be reminded that they are growing, that God is moving, and that their coaches believe in them. And one of the best ways to share this with your students is not just on one-on-one conversations with them, it's as a pod, in that pod setting when they're all together. So either before or after a Sunday morning or during dinner at our monthly gathering, celebrate and coach your students in front of each other. Wait, what? Can we do that? Are we allowed to celebrate and coach publicly like that? Of course we can. This is one of the best ways you can do this because it does two things. One, as you're celebrating each student, it gives everyone an opportunity to see what you as coaches are paying attention to and celebrating. Remember, we replicate what we celebrate. And two, as you're coaching each student, it gives them insight into how they can help hold each other to their best. Because each pod is a team, and teams that don't know what each other needs to work on can't get better or grow together. So these are two things that we want you to leverage going forward, leveraging our time and our coach addendum to help our students become who God has called them to be. Hey, you are a great coach. You are a great leader because you are growing as a disciple of Jesus in the process. The best coaches are those that are growing as disciples of Jesus and then inviting their students to come and follow. It has been a great start to the year, and God has so much more in store for us in the days and weeks to come. Man, we are grateful for you, we are proud of you, and we love what God is doing in your heart through Student Leadership Experience.